What up, y'all? I'm Rajay.
And I'm Shy, and welcome to the RXS
The
podcast.
podcast where we provide inspiration, motivation, and information to the music community. Gang.
Yeah. So, babe,
Yay!
what are we talking about today?
I don't know, but we got a special guest that's going to help us figure it out. Let's go. All right, y'all. So I'm here with my brother Steven Pender.
Yeah.
Steven, how long have we known each other?
About 25. We known each other about, I think, I'd say about 20 plus years.
Yeah.
For real. Like,
Yeah.
It's a long time, yo.
Yeah, man. This is my brother for real, one of the dopest
Yeah.
musicians I know.
Yeah.
Gang. He has the hoodie on. So, yeah.
Yeah,
If
buy
it-
y'all stuff. Buy it.
Yeah.
It wears nice.
So, yeah, we're going to let Jess put it on the screen. The website is rajxshy.com. It's going to be a little hamburger at the top. You click it, then you hit merchandise, and then you buy whatever you want.
And spend your money. And spend all your money. Just go there. Just wait till you ain't got nothing in their inventory. Just buy it all.
So, bro, I wanna do something dope.
All right.
You're one of the dopest musicians I know. I'm not saying it because he my friend. It would be true if I didn't know him. So I want to know, like, where did that start, bro?
Oh, okay. All right. Life story. Started playing at the age of 2.
Okay.
Like my first keyboard wasn't a regular keyboard, like this toy piano. So, all right, short story. All right, I'm a kid. I got this little yellow, like, baby grand toy piano, right?
Uh-huh.
I played the heck out of that joint. You hear me? You're like, clang, 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 clang. I played it so much till, like, you know how, like, got the 3 little legs on the, them jokes were broke because I just be slamming it down.
Do you remember this?
Yeah. Now, I'm going to tell you, something happened to that piano.
Okay.
Well, my big cousin got sick of hearing that piano one day. She broke the crap out of that joint, man. But I'm glad she did, because then my mom went and bought me like this concert mate joint.
Ooh.
Yo, I spent hours on the joint. I had choir rehearsal. We had revival. We had service. I mean, my teddy bears are lined. I was like, hey, you seen that part right there? Seen it? Hey, you over here. My choir, you know.
So your teddy bears was your choir.
Yeah, listen, and them jokers could sing too. You hear me? Them jokers was sweet for her. Like, oh, y'all singing tonight? Yes, sir. We about to win some souls tonight. Yes, sir, boy. So started playing I started like hearing melodies and stuff and chords.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first song I learned was "Miracle Worker."
By Rance Allen?
Yes.
Ooh.
My favorite part was when it go to that like that dun, 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 boom, time after. I wanted to know that diminished chord for the life of me, yo. I spent
Yeah.
like 5 hours trying to figure out that diminished chord. Once I learned that joint, I played it in everything I did, yo. Worship song, diminished. Praise song, diminished. I don't even think praise and worship was out like that. I was like, I don't even care, yo. We about to church this thing. Time after time.
So how old were you at this point when you learned Miracle
Ooh.
Worker?
I was about 6.
Dang.
I was about
You
6.
started early, bro.
Yeah, man.
On the
So,
concert mate.
concert mate.
So-
And then like my dad would have like his chord. It was
Was it an M something?
he had the M1, right?
Yes,
And that
Lord.
joint broke.
Uh-huh.
So then he got the chord, so the blue, like gray with the blue strip on it. Anyway, it was like the one after that, yo.
Mhm.
Man, I used to rip that boy, yo. My dad used to be mad. He was like, yo, man, I need to practice too. I'm like, Dad, no, man, you got me this concert, mate. You got a real keyboard. Let me play this real keyboard. And I played the crap out of that joint, man. You hear me?
Yeah.
But, you know,
Yeah.
grateful for them times, because then eventually I moved to Oregon.
Yes.
Yeah.
How old were you when you moved to Oregon? And what
Ooh.
gave you the interest in Oregon?
I'm gonna tell you, like, real talk. All right, first of all, we had like you had to get to church early to play drums, and like sometimes I get there a little late, you know, because I might forgot to put my clip on real good or something, something like that. So I would get to church, and then like at my granddaddy church, there was this B3 just sitting there. Only got played like twice a year. And I was like, you know what, yo?
I don't have to compete with nobody if I play the organ.
I play the organ. Ain't nobody take me off of that. So like one week, I was like, yo, it's like I want to play the organ. They was like, get up there. You didn't tell me twice, and then I just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And then like watching like people like Tam Williams.
Yeah. Shout out to Tam.
People like Cornelius Renfro.
Ooh.
Like so many like killer cats like growing up. Just Mr. Sammy.
Yes.
Rest in peace, Mr. Sammy.
Yeah.
Sammy
Shout
Barnes.
out Mr. Sammy Barnes.
Yo, he was listen. So like they inspired me to want to just like sit on organ. And I was like, this is home for me, yo.
Yeah.
And then like a lot of times, like as time progressed and like my grandfather's church transitioned, like a lot of people left. And like then it became like I had to play organ because like there was nobody else. So I play the organ, be weeks, I ain't had no drummer.
Yeah.
Or I play, and then like now I'm like really, really good, and then you got like some people who are not, you know. Anyway, so you like you kind of playing by yourself. So,
Yeah.
like,
So the foundation of you being able to hold down an entire service by yourself, because that's the thing that intrigued me when I first saw you. I'm like, he is a one-man band, but it came from like nobody was there.
Nobody was there. Like I had to be the drummer.
The
I
bass
had to
player.
be the bass player, the lead player, ox player, keys player, and then sometimes I had to be the choir because like they wouldn't hear their parts, and I'm like, let me play this right quick so y'all can hear it.
Yeah.
Do top, do the.
So were you teaching at your granddad's church too at first?
Oh yeah. So it came to the point to where like my aunt, who she's still at the church, and she would teach the youth choir, but she was like, you know what, you should do it. I was like, okay. And like we would have choir rehearsals, so then I end up becoming like the youth minister of music.
Wow.
And then as it progressed, then I started having to teach all the choirs, and like it was like maximizing my gift.
Yeah.
And then I'll never forget the humility of my grandfather, because he called me in his office one day. He was like, yo, you know, you're bigger than where we are right now.
Ooh.
And I was like,
because some granddaddies don't do that.
listen, it's a lot of these family churches that need to let their people go.
Let your kids go,
Let
man.
them go.
Man, we need to talk about that for a minute, like, because I know some cats right now. Well, it's just one guy in particular. He's a little bit more free now because he grown,
Right.
but he was good early, and every time he got an opportunity, he was like, I gotta go play at my grandma's church.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Grandma finna.
yeah.
But I get it though.
I get it. Like I get it to a degree. But this is my logic. Especially with hearing it from my grandfather. Like his thing was when he said, if you want to be great, then you got to be surrounded by people who are far greater than you are. Wow. So he was like, yo, you need to go. He was like, but don't forget where you come from.
Yeah.
So from time to time, I do stop back, you know,
You
back home.
still do that.
Yeah. I ain't done it in a while, but it's coming.
Yeah.
Where you go home and you don't forget where you're from. And
Yeah, man.
you show your appreciation for home and your family and, you know, your upbringing, because, I mean, that's who you are.
Yeah.
You're defined by what you've seen growing up and
Yeah.
those atmospheres you've been in. So, you know, I'm grateful for
Shout
my
out to your
upbringing.
granddad.
Yeah, man.
for
Rest
that.
in peace, yo.
Cause that's heavy.
Miss that, man.
That's heavy. For him to call you in the office and be like, you bigger than this.
Yeah. He was like, you're like a big fish in a little pond. I was like, ooh, come on, man. You had to say
He was
that.
dropping jewels on you, dog.
That joker was so wise, man. I was like, ooh. You know, like even down to like some of his like concepts of like understanding where you are. Like, I was the type of kid, like, I hated having to wear church clothes. Now I understand, like, although it's not necessary, but it teaches you when you go into different sectors to understand that there's a culture to the space, a culture to the room.
Yeah.
And you got to
man.
dress up the part.
Yeah.
Like, that's
man.
like me saying, I'm going to go see the queen or not the queen no more because she dead, but the king of England. And I'm not in royal garments or my finest wear, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I'm coming here with this nice hoodie on that y'all should go buy, by the way. I'm coming in with the hoodie on. I'm like, yo, what's up, king?
What up?
You know what I'm saying? What up?
What up,
you know what I'm saying?
Kate?
What up, your majesty? Yo.
Hey, what
good?
up? What
Hey,
up, boss?
Hey, y'all got something back? I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying? You got to dress the part. You got you dress for success. I mean,
So after leaving your granddad's church, where did you go?
I went to Ebenezer,
Ooh.
Hadley Street, Wilson, North Carolina.
Okay.
The pastor at the time was Pastor Tawan Fuller.
Okay.
And I met Miss Teresa Reed.
Okay.
Who is my god sister, Kamala Dawson's mom.
Shout out to Kamala.
Dawson, my sister. And that was an amazing experience because her mother literally became my mom, like my second mom. And like the things that I needed to learn as a minister of music, I learned from her.
Yeah.
And like she gave me so many nuggets, so many tools. And she had this KB300 amp.
That's the amp right there, boy.
Listen, peep.
That KB is
y'all need to do
something.
something. I don't know what y'all doing these series now. Y'all need to go back to the KB300 days because that joke.
But it was heavy though.
I don't care. I will lift that thing up 5 flights of stairs if I need to. If it's gonna give me the sound I want.
Yeah.
But yo, she let me use that amp. I knew for like months, and like every night she'll be like, I need my amp back. And I'm like, I'm gonna get back to you. Then she had like this XP 80 that she let me borrow.
Let's go.
I used to wear that joint out. It was to the point she was like, bring me my stuff back. You had it too long. I was like, I'm bringing it back. And I brought it back, and she didn't let me borrow it for a while. But I did get it back and used it.
Yeah. So what's the biggest lesson you learned from her?
The biggest lesson I learned from her was how to work with others and how to respect where people are.
Wow. Explain, brother.
So, like, she had this magical way of teaching anybody. She could teach kids. She could teach adults. And her approach would somewhat be similar, but it was to meet that need. Like, she knew what with the kids, because she came from Piney Grove, which is in
Shout
Wilson,
out Piney
too.
Grove.
So, and that's a family church, so they all related. So that was another thing. She like taught me how to work with family and then people that ain't family. But so with the kids, she could be firm because one is family, but she could be like, all right, I need y'all to get this, understand this. But then with the adults, she would be somewhat aggressive, but yet it's like, all right, I know you can do it. It was like more of a motivational kind of thing because every type of person, every generation handles what you receive differently.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, being an educator now, the kids that we have now are not the same as like we grew up.
Yeah.
So we have to approach them differently than we do.
A lot more delicate.
A lot more delicate.
Like everything, you have to be politically correct about everything. That's the stress of a teacher. Look at his face. Oh, you got to go back too soon.
Monday. So, but so you really with this generation today, you kind of got to be very empathetic.
Yeah.
Everybody's upbringing is not the same.
Yeah.
Like we grew up with people like we had some people that was like for the streets, raised by the streets. A few of them, but everybody else for the most part grew to church, and then they respected those who went to church.
Yeah.
And they respected those who were older than them and stuff.
Yeah.
The game has changed. They don't got no respect the person. They will cuss you out and then walk out your room and be like, I see you the other day. You like, see you next week.
Yeah. So I got so when you were playing with Kamala's mom, how old were you?
Ooh, I was 13, 14 then.
Just kids.
13,
killing.
14 then.
Killing. So listen, okay, while you doing that, when did we start playing with Elder Blackman?
Ooh, I was about.
Was that the same time?
That was around the same time. Yeah, I was playing at that church, and I was traveling with him because I was in middle school then, and I was always sleepy.
Man.
Considering we'll be at church till about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Listen, Marshall Blackman had us out here like we were grown men.
Listen.
My mama got so mad at him one time. Y'all remember that? Marshall, because he didn't bring me home. Marshall, he ain't ever going with you again. He ain't going with you again. I can't believe this boy got
let's go. And I was sitting in the car like, dang, I'm glad my mom a little bit more chill than that, yo. Like,
Yo, but he had us. We like 12 and 13 years old, like
Yeah.
doing revivals,
yeah, we were doing like mad revivals.
like going in that Lexus with that JBL. Yo, but it was crazy. So that was around that time.
It was around that time.
Yeah, we learned a lot. That's where I learned like church from, like church. That's when I was like, man, Steve know how to do this church thing. I ain't really that sweet. Like, Steve, you really mastered it very early. I used to be like, this is unreal.
I had to though. I ain't gonna lie, yo, because they would like they were like, I hate turn it down. I'm like, turn it down. Like, yeah, because you know, them moments, man, you gotta be, you know, you gotta navigate through those moments, right?
Yeah.
You do it wrong, boy. You done messed up the whole service, boy. It be high and then just be low. Like,
Yeah.
all right, we're moving on. Moving
so
on.
how did you what was your approach to learning how to navigate church services like that?
Ooh. So that's my gift. All right, my gift is learning how to read a room.
Yes, sir.
I learned that very, very young.
Mhm.
Now applying it to music, there's a certain type of feeling or
Mhm.
tone that's set in the room, and it's sometimes you're wrong. You know, like you're never gonna get it right all the time. Like,
Mhm.
even now with my 20 years.
Mhm.
No. Anyway, a lot of years of playing.
Mhm.
You're like, dang, like, do we need to go this way or do we know? But like, you start understanding like chords have meanings. So recognizing certain chords like major and minor or diminished or augmented, like those chords have a purpose, and you learn that, you know, somewhat with the learning, understanding the history, but also sitting in a room and just seeing what chord makes people do what. So learning early, I started like paying attention to what my dad did, because my dad plays.
Mhm.
So I paid attention to like how he would do, like if it was like we call it like rise up moment, or like it's getting a high time, like, you know, you'll use a lot of like diminished chords or
Mhm.
like big kind of like making it big, so it's like
Mhm.
it's like something's building.
Mhm.
But then if you wanted people to kind of simmer down, then you play like little sweet little trend, you know, chords, like them sweet stuff you be doing. You're like, and then they be messing around and have a Baptist fit and then holding the church. But anyway, you know, so you know, stuff like that, like you learn how to like. But it took me like trial and error. But being cognitive that like, all right, although this trial and error, like how you gonna recover if you do the wrong thing.
Mhm.
So like just being very, very sensitive to that moment, in that moment, but still like, all right, let's figure this out.
Yeah.
Did that make sense?
Yes, and
Right,
that's big, because I think as musicians in general, like sometimes we may focus on chops too much sometimes.
Oh,
like
yeah.
like you can't isolate your craft to the point where you don't know how to operate in any kind of room.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
So I call those type of musicians top heavy musicians.
Wow, explain.
All right, so first off, you can't build a house from the top. You gotta have a strong foundation. So what I'm noticing from and it's with the advancement of technology, where you got literally everything at your fingertips, to, you know, your phone, or it's literally a search away. You be like, well, how do you do this run?
Yeah.
You know, but it's because we have so much information that we forget that in order to get all of that color and extraness, you got to have something to get them there.
Yeah.
So I think it's because people in it, but it takes time to understand foundation, and because because we live in a day where
people
we can
seeing
get stuff
highlight
so
reels,
fast,
and that's
right.
the thing. Like when you like us, we in the church. Marshall saying, "Y'all, we going to practice how to back me up preaching.
Yep.
I'm gonna do this. Do y'all come in like this?
Right, I'll come in like this.
Bars, that's too many symbols. I don't
Right.
need no. First, I just need me and Steve.
Right.
Then I'm gonna tell you when you and Vars come in, and I don't need to hear a bunch of cymbals.
Right.
I just need clean hits.
Clean hits.
Don't play no runs. Don't do no nothing. Yo,
he literally told us, like, and I'm grateful for that now. But I'm like, yo, man, I'm not about to stay here a whole nother hour. I ain't gonna lie, yo, like, it was humbling, yo, because I'm like, yo, I know how to do church. I'm like,
yeah,
but then you got to realize everybody don't know that.
yeah,
You know, especially with working in the band. Everybody ain't.
yeah. And then, too, he's different than any other preacher.
Oh, yeah, he's totally
And
different.
so the method to the madness was discovered once we were in them services.
Yep.
So
Yep.
then when it would play out, I'm
Yep.
like,
Yep.
oh,
yeah.
I get
Yeah.
it. Right.
Yeah. And then you start hanging around Baptist folk like me, and then you start understanding, like, those who went to seminary, they have methods to why they do it. Like, one is like, my pastor uses the dialectic method, which is basically 3 points
And a close.
and a close.
Yeah. So that's
which-
an actual method.
Oh yeah, that's a method. And it's a couple of more I forgot them, but because he loves that method, he's been using it for years.
Yeah.
So it's like, I know in the beginning, like, if I'm playing for him, and for a lot of preachers too, in the beginning you give them like little talk music,
yeah.
and what Cedric Rawson calls them. Shout out Cedric Rawson.
Shout out to
Like,
Cedric.
he
He
says
a
you
monster.
sprinkle them. So like you give them a little, like, they say something, like they get to their title, like they've already read the scripture pattern, and all that.
yeah. You got to get the drum bars right.
Pushing it in, 16, 8, you know, get a little bit low, then pushing in, like, all that weird sound, you know, that weird stuff. So then, you know, give him to him. But when he gets to whatever his topic is, then, you know, depends on the response of the congregation whether you should, like, hype that up or not. Because some sermons, like, it's literally to make you think, and it
Yeah.
doesn't require the church, that church feel.
Yeah.
And so then once they get there, then they got to give you their background or their content, like what is this about? And what happens is, for some of our younger ones and older ones too, they start like pushing that and psychologically we ain't got it. And it's like, all right, let me give you the information, let me give you the revelation, then let me give you 3 things to really remember. And then by the second and a half to third one, that's when you can start assisting because it's starting to sink in.
Wow.
And then what they call it at the end, they call it
He's schooling.
I'll call it like it's called celebratory. So at the end when people close, that's really called the celebratory aspect of it, where it's like the revelation, but it's like the inspirational aspect where they uplift you. That's why they're closing. They're excited, they're in tune because they're inspired, trying to inspire you to remember what they said.
Wow.
And that's where the close comes in. Not no sooner. But then but you do have some preachers who be like, you know, I want it throughout the whole thing. I hate playing for those.
So maybe I ain't gonna say that, but they probably ain't sweet.
You
ain't got nothing to say.
You got okay, so you got some that are really, really good, but they just like aggressive musicians.
Okay, yeah.
But then you have some that really ain't studied. And be like, all right, I'm gonna need you to help me because this sermon is only a quarter done. You know? So
Yeah.
but I mean that's what it is.
So listen, of course I know all aspects of you, so I'm gonna ask questions about all of it.
All right, it's cool.
Where did like the classical interest come from? Where did
All
that?
right, so the classical, for one, like as a kid, I was very intrigued by classical music.
Mm-hmm.
I actually secretly wanted to be like Beethoven. And yeah, cause like he was a butthole, yo, for real. Like, Beethoven was a butthole. You hear me? I'm gonna tell you why he was a butthole. Yeah. Beethoven would go to bars, right? And he would find like the best pianists in there, cause they would have like competitions, and he would go in there and like demolish them for no reason at all.
Yeah.
Just because he was like just that great.
Yeah.
But then he would like compose pieces and he would make them extremely difficult just because he wanted people to be challenged to play it.
That is you. That is you. That is hilarious. Oh my God. Steve is Beethoven.
Yo.
Oh, we.
He would really he would, but it
Yo.
realistically, it almost makes you think he was, because there is a debate to say if Beethoven was part black.
Whoa.
Actually, a lot of composers just based upon the way because in that time period there was a lot when Africans and
Yeah.
the English and those were French, there was a melting pot, so everybody was coming together.
So it is it's possible that he's.
There is a great ongoing debate to say if Beethoven was a black man.
Yeah.
All right.
Or at least at least
But in his
biracial.
compositions, you can kind of see it because those rhythms
Yeah.
are crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's by far one of the greatest composers because of the complexity of his pieces.
Yeah.
So, but
So Beethoven made you be like, I like classical.
yeah. Now I ain't gonna lie. Now if I sit and listen long enough, I get too relaxed because my mind is trying to break it down and I fall asleep.
Yeah.
But once I wake up, I'm back in it again.
Yeah.
But, that's why I like classical. Now the lady who taught me actually how to read music was a lady named Rita Bennett.
Shout out to Miss Rita Bennett.
Piano music, because I could read vocal music in middle school.
That's insane. So we have to go to that.
So
That was on my mind, but we'll go back to it.
So I was getting ready to go to college, Elizabeth City.
Shout out Elizabeth City State University, HBCU all day, every day.
So,
where you was teaching the choir, but we'll get to that.
Yep. So I was getting ready to go to college, and I was very intimidated because I really wanted to know how to read piano music. And her son, who passed away, we were really good friends. And she told my mom, she was like, I'll teach him. And she would literally come. I would go to her church, and once a week, she would give me a lesson, and she made sure I was prepared to read. And the interesting thing about that is, when she started me out, I moved so fast that she had to rapidly put me in different books.
Wow.
Because I learned it so fast.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that, because when I went to college, they tried to put me in regular piano class.
You were like,
but because I would literally go to class and I would be bored because I could just play through it. And most of the time I would just sight read it. I was just right.
So did they realize you were advanced?
Oh yeah, because after they realized that, they was like, all right, we're gonna have to put you in applied piano. You're gonna have an instructor, and she whooped my butt. You hear me? She told me up.
For real?
Yes.
Yo.
Mary Hillman. Yo,
so shout out to Miss Hillman. Are you already teaching the choir at this point?
Yeah, because it was.
How did that start? How did you start doing that?
So you had university choir, which I was in, and then you had the gospel choir. And what happened was there was a change in leadership to where the guy or the person who was in charge didn't want to do it anymore, and they weren't left with anybody. So one of the advisors, Donald McLean, who's a phenomenal musician, great, one of the greatest people I've ever met in my life. He asked me this question. He said, "What would you do if somebody had a need and you were able to supply it?" Cause I was like, I ain't doing that. They ain't paying me.
So they asked you to be the director. You said I ain't doing it, and then he asked you that.
He asked me that.
That's a bomb. He dropped a bomb on you.
He dropped a bomb on me, man. It was humbling, yo. And I was like, you know what? I'll do it. So I stepped up. I did it, and even after I left the university, I was still doing it.
With the choir?
With the choir.
So so was the choir, when you started directing, were they good?
Yeah, they were real good.
For real?
They've always been good.
Shout out.
They have always been
What
good.
kind of songs did you teach them?
Everything. Anything I could think of. I gave them challenging stuff. I didn't really mess with choral stuff because we had the university choir.
And the university choir really did that stuff.
Yeah. But let me tell you this though. They had that choir do a Negro spiritual.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah.
That joke is insane now. And then
sorry for coughing, y'all. I don't know what's going on.
I tell you what.
It's been going on for the last 2 days, but I ain't lying. We need to put a mask on.
Mask on.
Yeah, facts.
I know you all right. So
So you were a
I was in
part
both.
of the university.
Yeah.
And teaching the gospel choir.
Yeah. And I was in both choirs. I was in the university choir and I was in the gospel choir. Now, this is the kicker about this, though. The director of the university choir did not like for his students to be in the gospel choir.
Why?
But because felt like it was too much of a strain
Because doing both.
doing both. Because I was the director of that choir, he allowed the university students to be a part of that.
That's dope.
And his sole answer was because I can trust you with them. I know you won't have no screaming. I know you won't have no abuse. And
so vocally, he was scared that they wouldn't be able to handle two choirs.
They wouldn't be able to handle two choirs.
That makes sense.
So,
Steve, you that guy everywhere you go, man. Steve is very, 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 very extremely highly gifted. It is crazy.
God is faithful.
So you doing that. So when you go to Elizabeth City, are you playing at anybody's church?
Oh, yes. I was playing in Pastor Cedric Rousen's church then at that point.
Monster. And where's that at?
Ooh, it's in his church now is in Chesapeake, Virginia area.
And where was it at then?
It was in Portsmouth.
How far was that from Elizabeth City?
It was about an hour. And what they would do is what Cedric would do is every Friday or Saturday he'll come pick me up.
Spoiled boy. We some spoiled kids.
And then I would go
Jesus.
before his mother passed, I would go to their house. Like if it was a spring break or summer break, I would go to their house and they treated me like I was like, Pastor Cedric Rousen and his entire family are my family.
Yeah.
Like it was when I remember spring break, I woke up and I took over Cedric's room. So he had to go sleep somewhere else. But his sister, his mom, she was like, "Hey, get up and cook Steven some breakfast."
Steve's so spoiled.
And so Kristen was like, "All right." She's like, "Steven, what you want for breakfast?" I was like,
she didn't want to do it.
She ain't mine. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
But it was the fact that like her mom was like, "Yo, this is your brother. Make sure your brother eat. We gonna take care of him. He's home."
Yeah.
And like I was like, whatever you cook, man. When I tell you they had the spread, I had French toast, pancakes, bacon, eggs, sausage, stuff I ain't never seen before. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like this is the life. And I watch cartoons all day. College student watching cartoons.
How old are you at this point?
Right this time, I'm 18, 19, watching cartoons. Like Teen Titans. I remember, all right, this was their church. And like they had cable in the rooms. I remember going in the office and I wanted to watch cartoons. And somebody changed the channel. And then mom was like, turn that channel back to them cartoons so you can watch them. Y'all know he was watching that. I was like, yes.
That boy, you spoiled.
Watch cartoons.
Oh, you spoiled.
So I'm at the church watching cartoons in the office
Yeah.
but I love them. Like I love the Rousens. They're amazing.
Shout out to them. So after you get out of college, what's next?
Move back home briefly.
That when you were playing in Weldon?
Yep, ended up playing for in Weldon at First Baptist Church. Pastor Quintrell Burrell.
He was there when you started?
Yeah, he was there.
Shout out Pastor Burrell. He's a beast. How did you get over there? He knew about you.
I was playing for him off and on. Like he would get me to come do their youth conference every year. But Haywood Sumner, basically.
Shout out to Haywood.
Killer. So I would go and do their youth retreat, and like we just kind of clicked. It was like, yo, man, I would really like for you to be here. And so one thing about me, if you never know, I've always been assignment driven. So any church that I serve at is an assignment thing. So for that,
it's not a money thing.
Nah, not really.
Let's park. Let's park.
Right.
We have to park. Why assignment?
Because one, I've always been like, what is the need? And what can I do to get the need done? Also, what am I to gain outside of money? If I look at it as just totally a money thing, now don't get me wrong, I gotta survive. I gotta be realistic. I gotta be able to live from day to day. But at the same token, what am I doing to make an impact to where I've been, and what are they doing to impact me? So at this time, I'm at Pastor Rousen's church, and I love their church. Like, I think when I get older and I retire, I'm going to join this church.
Yeah.
I love their church. And I literally had like a 2-month battle with the Lord because I did not want to leave there. But I had to because my next assignment was at Pastor Burrell's church.
Yeah.
So I had to fight with that. And I remember sitting in the room with Sid, and he was like, I know it was coming. It was like, I knew it was your time. He was like,
wow.
I was just waiting for you to tell me.
Whoa. So he didn't like.
No.
So at every church you ever been at, was the transition always like the pastors always kind of knew what was going on?
Yeah. And it's only solely because I believe I've been assignment driven. There has not been any issue with me moving because it was the place prepared for me.
Yeah, man.
So and then I've been fortunate to serve under leaders who are cognitive of when it's time to release and when it's time to gain.
Because that's some pastors. Some pastors want you to play with them to the return of Christ.
Listen, and then even after.
Until he cracked the sky, you need to be over here.
Right. Matter of fact, when he cracked the sky, I want you to make sure that if you don't go with him and I'm gone, you still here.
Yeah. But I like that whole the idea of us being assignment driven.
Yeah.
Because I'm like that too. It's like when an opportunity or a situation is presented, it is important to kind of be like, okay, what about what I have can help them? Mm-hmm. What can I do to help them? Mm-hmm. What can they do to help me? And it become a mutual benefit,
right.
Especially in a church,
right.
Because it's like we can so easily look at a church as somewhere we play, and forget that we take part in shaping the people that come every Sunday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We are a part of our musical contribution to the service is a part of their spiritual development.
It is.
So you can't just be going to gig, man.
Right. It's not a gig. And when I was younger, I wasn't as cognitive of the words that I use.
Yeah.
Like I knew the assignment that I had, but I was like, I'm about to go do this gig at the church. No, I got service.
Yeah, it's a service.
It's a service.
Yeah.
Now, the bar I'm playing at, that's
a gig. That's definitely a gig.
That's a show. I'm making my money.
Yeah.
I'm entertaining.
So let's talk about that.
Okay.
You were playing in churches and playing in bars?
Heck yeah.
That is blasphemy, Stephen. How dare you? You are going to hell.
Well, I see some of y'all there too. At this point, let's not get it twisted, huh? I got just as much Holy Ghost as them people that be in the church.
Yeah.
But my thing is, it brings me back to Jesus performing for what we call the first miracle at the wedding. We know darn well they won't play in no Just the Coastal Walk the Deep.
And it's wine.
And it was wine because he turned the water into wine. I think we're so quick to judge those who can actually be in those arenas who are spiritually capable of handling those settings. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some genres that there's definitely something behind it. Mm-hmm. It's a great deal of genres, but there's also, I believe, there are musicians sometimes put in place to kind of deflect those things because we need music for everything.
Yes, sir.
If we go a day without,
I don't know what.
How about this? If we were to live the rest of our lives without sound, tell me how your life would be. I'm serious, like even down to like
weird.
Clapping of your hands because everything makes a sound. Everything makes a sound.
Yes.
And because it makes a sound, it has a reason. You know what I'm saying? So if it's a reason behind it, then there's a reason why I need to go hear songs about love.
Talk, Stephen.
You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why I need to hear a song about me being sad.
Talk,
there's
Stephen.
a reason why I need to hear songs about the holidays or about family. Or
if you married, there's a need. It's a need.
And I wrote a few of them.
So it is possible to be a musician who's born and raised in the church, who plays at church on Sunday, and does what people call secular gigs.
Yeah. And they don't even
It is not
understand
blasphemous to do that.
No, it's not blasphemous. Because first of all, it's probably them musicians that's playing at the secular gigs that's going to get in heaven first. And probably some of y'all saving grace. Because that's the same anointed musician that's going to be back home when he get off tour that's going to play heaven down. And the Lord is still using them. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take it a step further. Because, again, you can't deny the oil that's on your life. There have been secular gigs that I've done where people are like, yo, there's something different about you, yo. And they were like, yo, what you played tonight really touched me. Now, how we gonna reach them if we ain't where they at?
Cause they ain't coming at 11 o'clock service.
They sure ain't coming on this 11 o'clock service. Yo, I mean, and like, if you really think, I mean, like, again, times have changed, yo. Like, I get it why you couldn't do it back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of y'all didn't have self-control. Let's be honest. Most of y'all didn't have self-control. Most of y'all couldn't handle that. So you needed to have this structure or
you had to put up a boundary.
Because you didn't want to go back. But don't condemn those who do. And then say, well, you ain't going to make it in because you ain't do what I did. Well, sometimes it don't take what you get through for me to get to them.
Yeah, man.
You know, so, I mean, it's all about balance. You know?
Yeah.
So, yes, I play secular music.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it. Matter of fact, I am a secular artist. Because Christmas music is not church music.
That's real talk, Steve. It's hilarious, but it's true.
And we listen to Silver Bells. Oh my gosh, I feel so happy. Silver Bells. You listen to secular music.
Wow.
The definition of secular music is any music that is not oriented in church. That's secular music. So anything that is not pertaining to God is secular music.
Steve just dropped the educational bomb on us. Good God, I need a minute.
So anything you create it ain't by church, regardless. Secular music.
Wow.
Sure
So Stephen has just helped us like debunk the myth that all musicians that don't just play at church are going to hell. That's not true.
That's not true. And
not
if
true.
we would like to have a conversation, I'm just gonna tell you, I stand where I stand, and the Lord has used me and blessed me and put me in places that no man could put me.
Yeah, man.
Because of what I've done and what I do.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for it.
Yeah, man.
So
that's heavy. Let's move to decide. No, it's two things I want to talk about. I got to go back to music first. The choral thing. Like, what was your interest in being like? Because I know you said at your granddad's church you were teaching, but did you like teaching?
Oh, I loved it. I would rather teach than play.
I know that about you.
I would.
But why?
teach.
Tell the people why you would rather teach than play.
So my thing is, I like puzzles.
This man is killing me.
I love puzzles, and I apply music as a puzzle. Like it makes me intrigued if you have a person who can't match a pitch, and they're standing beside somebody who is, and then like how to figure out to get them to see or hear what note they supposed to be on. And I laugh. I'm like, I'm about to get you right. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like, again, like every singer is different and how they get there is different.
Mm-hmm.
And they're capable. It's just finding where to fit that right puzzle.
He is definitely an educator.
I love it.
Because being an you see the good in everybody when you're an educator.
You sure
what,
do.
babe?
You're welcome. You're welcome, sis.
Yeah, yo.
You're welcome.
So you being like the director of choirs and teaching, is that what made you interested in being an educator? Or no? Where did that come from?
Well, I always wanted to be an educator, but my method behind that is because I wanted people to be able to learn like I did. Because again, I wasn't always great, I wasn't always the person who could read or the person and I wanted to, one, be an example to say that no matter where you come from, no matter how late you start, like you can do whatever you want to do. And it don't matter what skin color you are.
Yes, sir.
Don't matter what nationality you are.
Yeah,
It
man.
don't matter how fat, skinny, hungry, you know. Although being hungry will get you there, but it don't matter how, and it's therapeutic, Music is the only thing that one can enter your mind without your permission and stay there.
Wow. Music can enter your mind without permission.
Without your permission. Think about it. Roll, roll, roll your boat gently down the street. Guess what? It's playing in your head, ain't it? Yep, you right there. I see you. It's in your head. You can't stop the song because you know it and you hear it and it enters your mind and it stays there for however long it needs to.
Yeah, man.
Which is why music is so powerful and necessary.
So you actually teach music?
Yeah.
What grade you teach?
So I teach music at the collegiate level now.
Ooh.
So I teach
Talk that talk, boy.
I teach band and I teach gospel choir at UMES, University of Maryland Eastern Shore. I've been there going on maybe 9 or 10 months now.
Let's go.
Wonderful opportunity. I'm grateful for it. We're in the process of building. But a little bit about that. The choir last year before my leadership had 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
The band,
The choir had 5 people.
choir had 5 people.
So it wasn't a choir. It was a. It wasn't.
Ensemble.
It wasn't even an ensemble. It was a
an
quartet group.
quartet group. A quintet. It was a quintet.
Yeah.
But since then it's grown to maybe, I think I checked my roster, maybe like 40 people. Now they ain't all active.
Like members. Like members on the roster.
But I mean, there's growth there.
Yeah.
And I believe, with time that they'll grow to like 100, 200. The
yeah,
band,
man.
I started with like 12 to 15 students.
Mm-hmm.
We're maybe at like 22,
Mm-hmm.
which is big growth. But this is literally like starting from the ground up, where it's like you're literally getting whoever can come.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been able to do recruitment because I just got hired. So
Yeah.
but
bro, it's literally like it's like a movie playing in my head where this new guy comes
yeah.
and he has to start a band in a choir,
Yeah.
and then they end up winning competitions. It's literally
Right.
like a movie.
Like, it really feel like Sister Act too. Amen. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day.
So far, how has that journey been like? And what's the biggest lesson you've learned through this journey of growing that?
The biggest the biggest thing right now is staying motivated.
Mm-hmm.
And like seeing beyond where you are. And I tell my students all the time, like, I'm like, you are the legacy right now. I was like, and this program succeeds off of you. And I say it can only grow with you being here. And a lot of them get it. But seeing, it's like it forces you to see beyond. Like, there's been a lot of battles that I had to face. Now this is one of the different. There's been a lot of battles that I had to face, because right now they're considered organizations. So the space that we were in before was used by like every other organization on campus.
Mm-hmm.
We have a music building, and I was like, well, why can't we be there? And like at first I got like this major kickback. Like, they was like, no, we can't have them in there. No, we're using that space. I'm like, y'all ain't used this space in over 3 years. So like I just kept like pushing, like, yo, they gotta have a place that's home. And I applied it to like nomads. Like, we're literally like nomads. We're having to go place to place, but we have nowhere to call home. And I was like, we need this to be home. And after I said that, they kind of like, okay, we'll let you use it. So now we're like in a dedicated space where we can practice freely, and like I can make him mold them, make them.
So
better.
you believed in it enough to push forward.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you why though, because I just got appointed to do the choir this year. This school year. Last school year, when I saw the band, but when they didn't have a director, they were still functioning, and it inspired me because I'm like, yo, these students want this program to work so bad that they will take the risk of being able to function without a director
Yeah.
just to make sure it happens.
Yeah.
And like the moment I saw them do that, because I watched them at a basketball game, they didn't know who I was or nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there like as a stranger at a basketball game. I'm watching them like they're playing and like they're playing with heart.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, and I fell in love with them. I was like, yo, I gotta work with them.
Yeah.
I gotta work with them. So took the job, and surprisingly, this one I'm like, it gotta be an assignment thing. I had no I didn't have much pushback from my students. Like they literally welcomed me and embraced me as their leader. As if it like it was supposed to happen. It was like, yo, we're so glad you're here. Thank you for being a part of us. Thank you for doing this and that. Now it ain't always perfect.
Yeah.
But the fact that like they welcomed me
you.
to lead them. So that's my family. They're my kids.
That is so fire, bro. You drop it. I'm speechless. Because it's like you've been preparing your whole life to have this opportunity.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I keep, because I've been knowing Steven for a very, very long time. So to hear his story and to see where he is now, and to understand that from learning the organ to learning how to read a room to learning how to read piano music, all of this prepared you for now. It is literally every single thing that you've ever been through is the tools you need to operate at the highest level now.
Yeah. And every morning I'm grateful, because it's like when you're going through that as a child, like you have ambitions, you're like, well, Lord, what am I supposed to do? Yeah. Like what difference am I making? And it's humbling because you want to make sure that you're doing the best that you can, but it's encouraging at the same time. Like you got to keep doing this because now people are dependent on you. And I think that was my constant drive, which is why I do assignment stuff. Because you'll be surprised the amount, a lot of work that I've done that I have never been paid for.
I know.
Well, yeah, and it was only because I was like, yo, I want to make sure that one, I'm helping those get to where they need to go, because that's at that moment that's my assignment.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that's important too for all us musicians out there, all us singers. It's like chase impact.
Yeah.
Not clout.
Yeah.
Not checks. Impact.
Yeah.
Because the thing about it is, God will always reward you in a way that you never could have imagined if your focus is to make a difference.
Yeah. And if you want to be quite frank, anybody that you see like that's really a world changer, a.k.a. Jacob Collier, who I'm dying to meet, Corey Henry.
Yeah.
You see those musicians, they ain't doing. They never wanted to be famous. And if you look at a lot of like monumental musicians, their objective was never to be famous. They literally did it because they loved it and they wanted to make a difference.
Yes. So, funny thing, here's the big nugget. The quickest way to fame is to not want to be famous.
Not want to be famous. Not want the attention. Yeah. Yeah.
That's heavy, bro.
Ain't it? The quickest way to fame is to not want it. Think about it, but but that's really applies to anything in life. Yo, if you really want something, not want it.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, like for real, like I did not want to get married. I was like, yo, I'm good being single. I'm good being by myself. I can travel the world, be where I want to be. And then along came my wife. I said, good God. I changed my mind. I changed my mind.
That boy done moved to a whole nother state.
I moved to a whole nother state.
So, okay, let's talk about that.
No. Okay.
What is it like to balance being a musician, being a college instructor, being a husband and a father?
Yo, I'm gonna tell you, like, yo, it is hard as crap. You hear me? When I tell you, my mind be like, bloop, 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 bloop. What in the world? Yo, now I will say that in all things, that has been the biggest struggle for myself personally, because I'm all things to a lot of people. So like we have conversations a lot, like you're doing a little bit too much, and like I try my best to try and give everybody the time they're due. Now I never stop being a father. I never stop being a husband. Like when I'm needed, I'm needed. But like right now, I'm building this program. So right now that needs a little bit more time, but it doesn't mean that I don't care about my spouse.
So I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have this conversation with
Oh, yes.
Let's talk about it.
Oh, I talked to my wife about it.
Because sometimes us young husbands,
Oh yeah.
like we mean well,
We mean well.
but we don't go like we'll just be like, yo, man, I'm trying to build this program, bro. So
Right.
I'm just about to go do it.
You just need us up, dude. Right?
No, that is not how that works.
No, indeed, boy.
That is
You better
not-
start planning. So I learned quickly too. Listen, she was like, Steven, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of them students. I'm sick of it. You need to do something different because this ain't working. I'm like, babe. So like I literally and I'm grateful for it because although it causes us to have to communicate.
Yeah.
But it's like slowly but surely once she start and this is the thing. When you don't see the fruits, sometimes it makes you question like, are you like, why are you really doing this? But when you start when I start showing her the fruits, I'm like, all right, now this is what I'm doing, and this is why I have to do it. Like, and be honest with you, she helped me understand it. Like sometimes you really just gotta explain it and make it make sense, because sometimes the math ain't mathing. You know what I'm saying? It just ain't added up. Like, why are you at practice so long? And like then she
Because
started
that
saying,
doesn't make. Let's talk to our homies.
Yo, listen.
It don't make sense to our wife.
It
Because if you just look at what we be doing without no explanation,
Yeah.
it is stupid.
Right. And the bottom line is this though, like they want your time too.
Yeah.
And you gotta. But I will say, and I asked the wives across America, across the globe, all we're asking for is understanding. Listen, I'm telling you, like, and I'm grateful because I get it. Now, and if you show me you understand, I'll break my darn neck trying to make sure that I can do what I can for you.
Yeah.
So I've been grateful because, like, although it was rough at first, and it's getting better, I had it took me really trying to understand and let her hear my heart.
Yeah.
So musicians, you really gotta let your spouse or whoever you dating, let them hear your heart, and then give room for the response.
They right there. The people right there, up there. Yeah, they up there. Talk to them. They up there. Yeah.
Listen,
We down here. They up there.
listen. Let me tell you right now. Yeah, you hear me right now? I'm gonna tell you right now. What you gotta do? Right here, here's a nugget. I'm gonna give you a nugget right now. What you gotta do is cut this right here. Open up your heart. And be like, boom, here it is.
Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to do. Yes. Right? This is what I need grace and understanding for. Yes, man. But then you gotta be respectful enough to hear her response and then meet halfway. I've been gracious because I have somebody who can really hold it down, while I'm building.
Yes.
But yet she ain't building, she not holding it down alone. Yeah. Because when I do get home and I see that my girls are still up and they might need a bath, all right, no matter how tired I am,
wow,
no matter what's going on, you take those moments. And musicians, sometimes that's not appreciated right then. But you start letting that math add up, and that math start mathing.
Yes, sir.
That
accumulation.
Listen, because, you get it. Because in that moment, you ain't thinking about it. You think about, well, why are you not here? And there are a lot of distractions, that we can all easily fall in. So
Yeah, man.
you gotta understand that, you know.
Yeah.
Once you understand that, you'll be fine. Praise the Lord.
So you
Jesus.
went to her, you talked to her, you explained the vision as so she was like, all right, cool. And then as the process go on, you show her the fruit.
Yep. Sure.
So then she's like, okay, I get it.
like case in point, a couple of weeks ago we had homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
Right, homecoming is when all the alumni that attended the university, who heard whatever they heard, been experienced, come back home to the university for like a weekend and that part of that week,
Yeah.
and then they just see what's going on. So that week before, I had practice every day
Yeah.
with the band.
Because you ain't half stepping on homecoming.
No. You can't half step. I seen a lot of people get fired because they were half stepping.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Directors have got fired because
Listen.
because homecoming performances was bad.
Yeah, because you ain't bearing no fruit. Your band sound crappy because you ain't really putting that fire and working with them. They ain't sound like nothing. Yeah, what do we need you for? So
That's
by the end of
huge.
that year, they looking for somebody else.
Wow.
Yes, because you don't want no band that suck.
Nobody wants
I don't want no band like, yo, we went to homecoming, yo, it was dope, but that band sound bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want no. So I worked them like, and they appreciate it because I tell my students all the time, like, would you rather me be honest to you, or would you rather me pat you on the back while you're failing? It's like, do you want to be good or you want to be great? I tell my choir that too. Like, do y'all want to be good or you want to be great? And I just be real.
Wait. Do you want me to be honest with you, or do you want me to pat you on the back while you're failing?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know how heavy that is, Steve. I've never heard that before. That is some monumental quote that I will be using for the rest of my life. And I will put Stephen A. Pender. Do you want me to be honest with you, or do you want me to pat you on the back while you are failing?
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah. And you know me, I've always been brutally honest.
Steve is definitely brutal.
When it comes down like stuff that's important to me, yeah, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Like, no, you are flat. You sounded bad.
Yeah.
But we can fix it.
Yeah.
Cause my thing is, all right, don't tell somebody the truth and you ain't got no solution. Cause then you wasting time. You wasting all our time. You tell me you sound bad.
Steve.
But I ain't no singer though. I don't sing. And you
It's too
sound
many
bad.
gems. He dropping too many gems.
My bad.
Wait, slow
am I
down.
talking too long? I don't want.
No, slow down. Slow down.
Okay.
Don't tell me no problem if you ain't got no
You
solution.
ain't got no solution. And there's too many people all around the world that have so many issues with stuff but never have a solution, or not willing to get in the trenches or get into that fire to help put it out. And it sucks because it's like, yo, why keep magnifying what's wrong but then don't try and present a solution? Like, blows me. Like,
So in situations, guys, when we are in situations, yes, in our lives,
in our lives, we'll arrive.
we have to like, it has to come in twos. Wherever you feel the need to express a problem, you should either have a solution or be willing to get in the trenches to find the solution. That's heavy, Stephen. That is heavy.
And that's the bottom line, because Stephen Pender, Stone Cold Steve Austin says so.
Bro, that is a good place to end it, though.
Yeah.
That is a good, because, like, man,
Yeah.
babe, how many times we've been rocking with people that, what you want me to do then? I don't know. Well, shut up then.
And you know what? Like, seriously, like, those are people that I learned to, like, understand where they are because they just ain't got there yet. And when you get there, then maybe we can talk more. But I know whatever you talking about, you can't handle that because you ain't got no solution. And I need people that can be
So do you know
the Muffin Man,
who lives on what lane?
Drew Lane.
Yes. What's that, baby?
What I just say, the Muffin Man?
No, the situation where
that
You
arises.
you make the conscious decision
Oh yeah.
to know how to handle people who are not solution.
Yeah. So
oriented.
that's my principle now. Like the older I get, I learn how to meet people where they are, because everybody is not mentally, spiritually, physically,
Emotionally.
emotionally in the place that you are, and you gotta accept that, because again, they are their environment. They are what they see. We are what they do, because we're creatures of habit. So you gotta accept where they are, not judge them, but then be welcome when they do reach the place.
Because it is easy to get so frustrated where a person is that by the time they grow, you so sick of them that you don't care that they have grown.
Yep, you don't care. You don't care, which is why you gotta even more apply grace in that moment.
Yes.
You know, because we not all gonna be there. Like there's some areas that I ain't sweet at.
Me either.
And in time as I grow, I will be.
Yeah.
But for those who really know me, then they know that I embrace that area and not be judgmental.
Yeah.
And not I can't deal with Steve because Steve don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, meet them where they are.
Yeah.
Because just because they weak in that area don't mean they ain't weak in they might
They
be
may
stronger
be strong in
in
another.
another area. Now you gotta literally, like, people in your life, you gotta find what their strengths are and make sure you place them so that when you need them, they can execute.
Assist you in the places that they are strong.
Yeah. Right.
Bro, this is a good conversation.
Good conversation.
Hey, she got something for us.
A breakdown.
your mental process of being that person who has grace for the person, because that's not easy.
It's not easy
Oh,
to have
yeah.
grace. Where do you get the strength to have grace?
Ooh. Well, I look at it from this context. All right. If I need grace, then I need to extend grace. So, say, and you deal with it. You deal with it a lot being in leadership in church, because you got so many different types of people. Amen. Praise the Lord. All right. So, say this person has a bad attitude, right?
Mm-hmm.
My grace is I'm not gonna allow myself to be upset because you upset. What I'm gonna do is show compassion. Try to get to the root of what's going on with you. And if we can't come to a solution, then I'm going to say, well, I love you, and we're going to try this again next time, and then keep it moving.
Yeah.
It's like finding those areas where, what's the problem, see if you can come up with a solution.
So grace is not condoning the behavior.
No, you don't have to condone the behavior, but you got to be empathetic, because obviously it's something much deeper as to why they're acting the way they are. And sometimes, not everybody can do that, because not everyone has the patience. But I will say this: if you want to make an impact in the world, it's going to require patience with people, because everybody don't think like you think. Everybody has different perspectives. I mean, I'm married to my wife. My wife do not think like I think. You know what I'm saying? And I respect where she is, and she respects where I am, because we two different people. But you put us two together,
Let's go.
we gonna tear this world upside down.
Let's go. Exactly. Yeah. So you think about yourself when it's time to extend grace.
All
like
the
the
time.
same grace that I would want, I have to extend.
I have to.
So that's basically humility.
Yeah.
You have to be humble enough to give somebody what you would want if you slipping.
Yeah.
Or if you got an attitude.
Yeah.
Or if you singing flat.
Yeah, if you singing flat, because I could be singing flat, So how can I fix this?
Yeah.
Because obviously maybe you're not supporting enough. Maybe you just need to raise your eyebrows. Maybe you need to think a little higher, because you're a little bit lower. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you got like, and then like, and that's why I say, like, I love puzzles, because it's like, if this was me, then why would I have done that? Or what I need, how can I fix it?
So you're a critical thinker.
Oh yes, believe it or
Is
not.
that all? Is that? I could imagine that being just as bad as it is good. Does your critical thinking get in the way sometimes?
Oh, there's a party going on right here all the time. Like there's a constant wrestle.
Okay.
Because one, I like stuff to be right.
He definitely does, guys.
It gotta be right. It gotta be right, and I need it to be right. But I have to also be realistic. 'Cause that's what the battle is. That it's not always gonna be right. Prime example. I'm gonna tell you this. Like I had the perfect wedding in my mind. Musically, like I had the best singers, I had the best musicians, but my wedding didn't start on time. The selections that I wanted them to do, some of them were not done. And Pastor Cedric Robinson said this. He said, well, if everything was perfect, then you would have forgot the real intent while you were doing it. And the real moment was you get married. So even if the music was horrible, if everything goes to hell, excuse my French, there ain't no cuss word. Anyway, if everything goes down the drain.
This is a wedding for two people
What
to
was
get
the
married.
real moment? What's
It's
the
not.
real?
It's not a live recording.
It's not live recording.
It's
Which, to be honest, even them be flaming. And them overdubs that y'all hear in the final product be the real one.
yes. So let's. That's heavy.
Yeah.
Focus, instead of focusing on perfection, focus on the real intent and what the actual outcome is supposed to be like.
Yeah. But you still got to be cognitive that you want to give your best.
Your best.
You can't give your worst and be like, all right, well, we're going to do the best you can. All right. Because then that goes back to you patting them on the back.
While
they
they're
failing.
failing. Jesus.
I ain't trying to do that, man. Anybody got time for that?
So give your best.
Mm-hmm.
Present your best. Be prepared. But don't wig out when it ain't perfect.
Don't wig out when it's perfect because it can be fixed.
All things can be fixed. But when you in it, because I know what it's like for things to not go perfect and then to have that like that loop in your head mentally.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, me and my wife just did a funeral the other day.
Mm-hmm. Rest in peace to the person that passed away.
So, Steve, you are about to cry laughing
Uh-oh.
because you played the organ.
I sure did.
Okay, so remember there was a reference lead vocal? Steve! I bounced the song, Steve, for us to listen to, and then that's the voice. I can't get it out. Oh, Jesus.
I listen to my voice.
Listen, Steve. So she starts singing, and at first, you can't tell. All of a sudden, I'm like, that's the reference. I'm talking about smacking in the house. Reference vocal, she's singing on top of it. She looks at me. I go, I forgot to take the reference out. But here's the thing. She was devastated. And she said, I feel like it was a waste of time, right?
Ooh.
But I'm about to mess y'all up.
God's about to blow your mind.
Listen, her response to this, and she didn't even tell me this. We have not even talked about it. Her extreme stress and anxiety about that mistake was because of people that were in the room. Ooh. There were certain people in the room that she didn't want to fail in front of. And I caught that. I'm like, I know why you feel the way you feel, but I'm about to pull out my phone so I could tell you, Steve, what my response was to that situation. 1 second. But I figured it out. I said, that's what it was. That's what it was. But I told her, because she was bent out of shape. I said,
I want to know. I ain't come all the way down here for $25. Everybody want to know. Profit.
I said, we are not going to do everything perfect all the time. Then I said, I've cried and been in deep depression about those kind of mistakes, and I won't do that ever again or give mistakes unnecessary energy. This is exactly what I sent her. Because I know what it's like to want to be perfect. Not because your best, not because perfection comes from your best, but because there's certain people you don't want to fail in front of.
Yeah. Yeah. And not wanting to fail in front of people could be your biggest downfall. It could crush you because you forget who you doing it for.
Yeah, man.
Doing it for.
And now, watch this. After that, a lady comes up to her and says, "Oh my God, do y'all have a card? This was so amazing. Do y'all do this for all funerals around the city?" Well, no, ma'am. We absolutely don't. But thank you. And when that lady came up to her, of course, I didn't talk to my wife about it because she was really been out of shape. But I said to myself, the person that you were scared to fail in front of didn't approach you and say nothing. But a person that you impacted that you don't even know told you how great of a job you did with the mistake.
With the mistake. Because you know what?
Ooh!
Realistically, let's think about this, though. The average consumer don't hear it anyway. But they do hear the greatness.
Yes. Yes, man.
So, yeah, I feel you.
Bro, this is fun.
Yeah, it is.
This is good. Like, it's a lot. This is crazy.
I'm on live television. I'm on television. I'm on around the world. I feel famous.
That's international. So, yeah, but I don't even know how to close at this point. We gave way more than 3 points.
Yeah, we did.
And I don't know how to close.
I do. Well, Lord, I'm reminded of a man named David who was anointed to be king.
Yes, sir.
Well, some of y'all ain't doing the work, but you want to be king.
Come on.
I declare to you, do the work.
Do the work.
And those who will see you will acknowledge the king in you. Amen. Will there be one today?
He really did. He really did just close. Should we go there, babe? David was anointed king.
He was.
Before he was appointed king.
He was. He was.
David was anointed king before he was appointed king.
He was.
He out in the fields, dog.
Yep. Killing bears,
lions, tigers. Oh my.
Oh my. And giants too.
Yes. So listen, he out there with the slingshot. He taking care of the sheep. He killing the predators that are trying to attack the sheep. First of all, he's a shepherd, which means service first. We can't even get to king without serving first.
Listen.
So he's serving. He taking care of the sheep. He got the slingshot. He doing his thing. He doing his thug thizzle or whatever. So then an opportunity comes where he got to kill a giant. First of all, Steve, do they come looking for the boys before that?
See.
Yeah, because you know.
See, but this is the thing though. The Lord already knows where the king is. He already knew it was in Jesse's house. Cause they asked him. They said he brought his sons. He said, "Well, do you have another son?
One? Because these ain't it."
And then what did he say? Well, I got one, but I don't think he's fit for it. He's out in the fields right now.
He is. If he's out in the field, he's fit for it. Why? Because he working.
And the oil didn't fall down until it went over his head.
Jesus. I listen to the story. Well, I got one more, but I don't think he fit to be king. He out there in the field.
Yeah.
Taking care of sheep.
And
slaying lions and tigers and bears. Oh my.
Yeah. Yep. And then shortly after, his brothers who are in the army are at war.
And they hungry, right?
They hungry. And he's coming to get them food.
Serving again. He's serving again. He just coming. He Uber Eats, like Michael Todd said. He Uber Eats out here. He coming to give sandwiches to his brothers. He ain't even thinking about it. That's the crazy thing.
But sees that there is a need. And everybody else is now at this point, everybody's afraid. They're like, we can't beat that giant. And he gets angry within himself. Yeah. And said, well, if y'all ain't going to do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And then slays the giant.
But before he slays the giant, excuse me, y'all. Before he slays the giant, they try to put their armor on him.
Yeah.
And he like,
Oh,
Dog, this a little too heavy, dog.
this ain't work for me.
So then he goes to the slingshot.
Yep.
Bow, pull it out, hit my man in the head. He out of here. Cut his head off. Hey, this the man y'all couldn't defeat. I got him.
Yep.
But he was only able to do that because he was prepared.
Mm-hmm.
So then we got to tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
So after he slayed the giant, it's still some time before he appointed king.
Oh
right?
yeah, it's definitely time. There's time
Because Saul is the king.
Saul is the king, and they start making songs about David. They say Saul killed thousands, but David kills tens of thousands.
Yes. So when Saul is in the is one of Saul's servants.
Son,
So who does David play the demon out of?
King Saul. He's vexed with the spirit.
So what? Oh my God. So
See,
what
yeah.
about when you have to free the person whose place you've been appointed to take, but it's not time for you to take that place yet? That takes humility.
It takes humility.
Oh my God.
I know I'm next in line.
I know I'm next. I know he don't want me to be next, and I still got to help him.
Because you got to remember, when he played it, he threw a spear at him. But it didn't hit him. And David had to flee. But yet that spirit was gone. So it says sometimes even those who you have to serve may come after you because they're intimidated by the power you
Possess.
But you still have to serve.
You still have, because serving is the vehicle to becoming king.
He never stopped serving.
Never.
He never started serving.
And he did some jacked up stuff
He
too.
sure did. He did some jacked up stuff. Well, he lost a son behind it.
Crazy. Which says, y'all, we ain't gonna be perfect. We gonna be out here wilding and still have we'll be out here tearing up stuff, literally. And still king.
Yeah, car windows and everything.
So that's heavy. Like just being in a place of service.
Yeah.
It's like your story, bro. It's like you've been serving this whole entire time, and then the opportunity comes for you to be what's the proper term? You are a instructor,
Director
at this college, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you've been working, bro.
And working.
And you've been serving.
And still working and serving.
Yes.
You know, because, I mean, even outside of that, I still serve at my church.
Yeah.
I still do the gigs. I still do that. But I do that because I want my students to know that, one, you got somebody who actually really do this thing. Because, I mean, you don't want to, you can respect the person who actually is a professional.
Yes.
You know.
Because they're not just theoretical.
Yeah.
They're not just reading books and regurgitating information.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think we need more educators like that who are actively in their field.
So the students can feel like, he's my teacher, she's my teacher. They are older than me, but he or she is one of us.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez. This, I don't know. This is just so good. I don't know.
I just can't tell it all. So good. I just can't tell it all.
Yo, I guess we're done. Are we done? Do you have anything else, babe? Steve, do you have anything else you want to say? Is there anything that's been on your heart that you want to discuss?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram.
Let's go. Give it to him.
Listen, I need some followers, amen.
Tell him where to follow
I'm at
you
the
at.
threshold. So you can follow me on Instagram at Real Stephen, STEPHEN, Pender, PENDER.
Mm-hmm.
You can follow me on TikTok, same name, Real Stephen Pender.
Mm-hmm.
You can follow me on my fan page on Facebook, Stephen Pender, and YouTube, Stephen Pender, and just follow me. You know.
Yeah, man. He's very inspirational and extremely gifted. Okay, so are you giving like any lessons or anything, or you don't have time for that right now?
Yeah, I actually am. I'm especially top of the year. I'm gonna start back. I wanted to do 40 students, but I'm gonna have to chop it down a little bit. So I think I'm gonna try and do like 15 to 20 students.
And can these students live anywhere?
Yeah.
So how do
Anywhere.
they contact you?
So you can contact me by either going to my website, www.steven-pender.com, or you can send me a DM message on one of my social media pages, and somebody from my team will get back with you.
Yeah.
You know,
Come on,
set things
team.
up. And I think you'll love the experience because it can be virtual, and you're able to see the displayed keys. We record every session, and then you can go and play back at your own leisure.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, give it a try.
Yeah. So y'all go follow him. Y'all go grab that merch too.
Yeah.
Just put that on the screen. That's rajxshy.com. Go up to the little hamburger, hit merchandise, boom, make it happen. Look at this guy.
Okay.
All right, we love y'all.
Yeah.
Peace.